The myth of learning styles. Learning styles are and the idea that every person has a way to best learn and remember information. Learning styles have been around for a while. They were really popular in the 50s and the 70s. There are three main types: auditory learners, who learn best from hearing new information. There are visual learners who learn best from seeing new information, drawing it, or maybe a cool video would help them. And kinesthetic learners who learn best while moving, doing, getting their hands on it. People can also be a combination of styles, and be both visual and kinesthetic, or so on and so forth, or even all of those. However, there is a problem. Learning styles have never been proven, and yet they continue to be taught to teachers. Personally, I was taught about learning styles when I was in school, and that was just last year. Um, an expert, Daniel Willingham, a psychology professor at UVA, said, "There is no evidence that learning styles exist, but we still continue to act as if they do." Without proof, educators have to rely on students to tell them which style they learn best. They could also try to figure that out for what they see from the students, but either way, it keeps students from leaving their comfort zone. If they're only comfortable with visual information, it means that they're never going to be willing to do things like science experiments, and it's going to also prevent them from learning new learning strategies. Additionally, students would rather learn one way, like with a really fun video, than through other ways, but that doesn't mean they actually learn anymore. So, no. Much like IQ, learning styles cannot be proven to exist. A recent study had students study according to their learning style or a combination of styles, but they weren't doing any better due to those styles, which proves that learning styles are just another myth. There are learning strategies that can be used, but those are a completely different thing than the learning styles that we're talking about today. So, why is this neuromyth such a problem? It's persistent, and it's not a good kind of persistent. This neuromyth persists despite having been debunked repeatedly, leaving educators with the wrong information. I have teachers at the school I work at who talk about needing to match the learning styles of their students, but we know it doesn't work. Dr. Newton did a study. He looked into 109 education focused articles, all of which were freely accessed, and found that 89% of them supported learning styles without there being any evidence. So it's very easy for teachers to get this wrong impression because you have to do a lot of research to find that they're not real. And it leads to wasted time and effort on the part of educators, which I know, speaking for myself, I don't have those two things to spare, and most of the teachers I know have even less than I do. So, in the words of one of the articles I read by Singal, in other words, it's time for educators themselves to step up and help put this myth to bed. So, what should educators do? Educators should not design lessons that are individualized, but instead concentrate on a more universal design for learning approach. Universal design for learning is very different from learning styles because it gives the opportunity to manipulate the input in terms of what the students are learning, the output, how they're expressing it, and it can work with students on giving them a variety of options to express their learning, which can be really important, because not every student takes a test beautifully, but we could maybe get them to use more projects and stuff to show their learning. The Smithsonian video did a really beautiful job of showing that as educators, we can take information and present it in multiple ways, and by presenting it in multiple ways, we're not really pandering as much to learning styles as we are to giving kids different modalities in which the information is presented. So hopefully we'll all be able to do that kind of stuff. So my references, Anderson's "You May Think You Learn Better in a Certain Way, You Actually Don't." Jarrett, "Another Nail in the Coffin for Learning Styles. Students did not benefit from um, studying according to their learning style." Oxenham, Why the Widespread Beliefs in Learning Styles is Not Just Wrong, It's Also Dangerous. Single, One Reason the Learning Styles Myth Still Persists. And the Smithsonian Science Center, beautiful video about learning styles. Thank you very much for watching my presentation.